All right, let's dive into the surprising, almost hidden reality of AI in business today. Because, behind all the hype and all the headlines, there's a really massive story unfolding.
So get this. Enterprises have poured a truly staggering amount of money into generative AI. We're talking $40 billion. That's a kind of investment that screams, this is going to change everything. And with that kind of cash on the table, you'd expect a massive productivity boom for everyone, right? Well, some recent research from an MIT-affiliated project shows something completely different.
For 95% of companies, there has been zero, literally zero, measurable impact on their profit and loss. And this incredible gap has created something that researchers are now calling the GenAI Divide.
So what exactly is this GenAI divide? And more importantly, why is there such a huge gap between what we're told AI can do and what's actually happening on the ground?
Well, it's basically a giant chasm separating a tiny group of big winners from, well, pretty much everyone else. And what's so fascinating here is that the difference isn't about having the best AI model or the deepest pockets. Nope, it's all about the approach.
So, let's talk about that 95%. What does it actually look like to be stuck on the wrong side of this divide? Well, it's a world of stalled projects, frustration, and a lot of missed opportunities. This chart right here just says it all. You see this dramatic drop-off? 60% of companies are looking into custom AI tools, but that number absolutely plummets to just 5% when you look at who's actually using these tools in their day-to-day operations. It's a huge gap between just trying AI and really using it.
And this quote from a CIO just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures that skepticism and frustration. There's a ton of noise out there, lots of cool-looking science projects, but very, very little that solves a real business problem in a way that actually works.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. While the official company projects are stalling, the employees themselves are just going for it. They're using their own personal AI tools to get work done. This whole shadow AI economy proves the value is there. People want this stuff, as long as the tools are right for the job.
So where is all that investment money actually going? Well, the data shows a huge chunk, 70%, is going into the flashiest departments, like sales and marketing. But as we're about to find out, this is a huge miscalculation, because the biggest returns, they're often hiding in plain sight, just somewhere else entirely.
Okay, so if it's not the models themselves causing the problem, what is it? What's the real barrier keeping 95% of companies from getting any value? Well, it turns out it all boils down to one core concept.
Just ask yourself this question. It really gets to the heart of the problem. Why are we totally fine letting an AI write a simple email for us, but we never trust it to manage our most important client relationship?
The answer is, most enterprise AI tools are just plain static. They have amnesia. It's like having a brilliant assistant who forgets everything you told them 5 minutes ago. They don't learn, you have to explain the context over and over, and they just can't adapt. And that makes them fundamentally unreliable for anything complex or mission-critical.
This data right here, it visualizes what the researchers call the learning gap. For simple, one-off tasks, yeah, AI has totally won. But when it comes to complex projects with high stakes, humans are still preferred 9-to-1. The difference isn't raw intelligence, it's the ability to learn, to remember, and to adapt over time.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the problem. Now for the good part. Let's look at the playbook being used by that top 5%, the ones who are actually crossing the divide and seeing massive returns.
First things first, the data here is just crystal clear. The whole "we'll build it ourselves" approach, it fails twice as often as partnering with experts. Buying and then customizing a specialized solution is way, way more likely to succeed. It's a sign that for most of us, the fastest way to get value is through smart integration, not by reinventing the wheel.
The successful buyers, they follow a really clear 3-step playbook. 1, they demand deep customization. 2, they measure success based on real-world business results, not some abstract tech benchmarks. And 3, and this is crucial, they source ideas from the bottom up. The best ideas aren't coming from the boardroom. They're coming from managers in the trenches who live with these problems every single day.
And where do they find the biggest returns? Not in those flashy sales tools. The real, multi-million-dollar wins are found in the engine room of the company, automating all that complex, costly, and kind of invisible back-office work that actually powers the whole business. Now, this whole new approach, it's not just about getting better tools. It signals a really fundamental shift in how businesses are going to operate in the very near future. We're moving beyond just simple prompts and chatbots to what's being called an agentic future,
I want you to think about AI systems that can actually learn your business, remember context forever, and then team up with other AI agents to run complex operations all on their own.
And this is exactly why there's a real sense of urgency here. As this CIO points out, companies to get in early with these learning systems are building these massive competitive moats. Once an AI truly gets how your business works, the cost and pain of switching to something else becomes almost impossibly high.
And that competitive lock-in, it's happening right now. The consensus from the experts is that most big companies will pick their core AI partners in the next year and a half. The decisions made in that tiny window will pretty much define who the market leaders are for the next decade.
So that leaves us all with one final and pretty critical question. The divide is real, the opportunity is huge, but the time to act is incredibly short. You have to ask, which side is your organization going to be on?